Hello everyone, my name is Jessica, fifth year medical student, and welcome to my second video in a series on coronavirus. Where I read the science so you don't have to. Thank you all for your love on my last video where I took you to a corona ward with me. And since then I put on my Insta stories a Q&A of if there's any other questions that you had for me. And the most asked about thing was lockdown. So this week, some European countries are actually lifting their lockdown. So I'm going to be talking about today what this means for us, what's going to happen after lockdown, and whether lockdown has actually been working. So yeah, let me just get my notes because I've done my research and I'm not just making this up. And yeah, I'll be putting all of the resources and links in the description box below so that you can read more if you want to. So today, 27th of April, Czech Republic are going to be reopening their universities and Greece are going to be reopening their registry offices and courts. In the beginning of May, Austria is going to be opening up all their big shopping centres. Spain is going to start letting children go out to exercise because they've had a lockdown where you weren't able to go out for exercise. And Norway will have a ruling as to whether they'll allow events for people who are less than 500 people. Those are the countries that are going to be basically taking lockdown off in the next week. And then there are some who are just relaxing their lockdown. So Italy, which was the first country to bring in the lockdown measures in Europe, so they will be starting manufacturing on the 4th of May. And a city, Veneto, has already started opening their cemeteries, takeaways, and pizzerias. Switzerland and Belgium has already started allowing shops and hairdressers to open. So yay, it seems like lockdown is being lifted. Not everybody is in agreement. The lead epidemiologist from Hong Kong says that Europe are doing it too early, but we'll just have to wait and see. So right now I'm just going to explain how lockdown works. So this is the maths of social distancing. Coronavirus has an R0 of 2.5. This means the reproductivity rate of an infection. So with one person infected with corona, they will go on in 5 days to infect 2.5 other people. And each of these 2.5 people go on to infect another 2.5 people. So that, and so on and so on. So that after 30 days, 406 people will be infected. But with social distancing measures, a complete lockdown, this changes to 1.5 people that they come in contact with that they could potentially infect. Only 15 people end up infected, meaning that the hospitals will not be bombarded and there are less deaths. So now you can't see what I'm writing, sorry, but that says Sweden. And this type of strategy, they didn't do a lockdown. They went with the strategy of mitigation, where you just try to slow it down by telling only the people that feel symptoms to stay at home. And they have 200 per million deaths. Their neighbouring country, Finland, had a complete lockdown and they have 31 per million deaths. So you can see the difference straight away. However, you have to also think about immunity. Now, in this time, that means that Sweden have been able to be exposed and build up their immunity. But now with countries like Finland and us, for example, where we haven't done that, we don't know whether we're going to go up or down. One thing that has to be considered is that these lockdowns have had a massive impact to our economy, and that is something that the governments have to consider. So, whether you agree or not, does money make the world go round? Comment down below. We see Spain, Italy and UK are all reporting the lowest numbers since the pandemic started. We have flattened the curve. Wuhan and China have, beginning of April, they took off their lockdown bans as well and they've been roaming around freely and they've been fine so far, but the most thing that people are worried about is a second wave. And this is what happened in the flu pandemic in 1918, where there was a second wave. So that is something that we're watching and waiting for. But you know, there are countries that are ahead of us, like Italy and Germany and Spain. They were always ahead of us in terms of the infection. So we can watch and model and see if it works for them. Then we can slowly, you know, we'll just be waiting and seeing, and thankfully we have them that we can look to for an example. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope that has answered some of your questions on lockdown. There'll be resources in the description box below, and yeah, share if you found it helpful. Bye.